What is up, YouTube?
What's up?
My Cowboys family, bringing you guys the latest update on the Dallas Cowboys. Give us just a second while we check our audio, and we'll be ready to go. Guys, let us know, of course, in the comments below how you like our new stream chat format thing. We're trying to do this because a few of you guys suggested this, so let us know if you guys like it, if it's working out.
We also, actually, aside from that, suggestions from some people, we also decided to say,
right,
we're good. We also decided, we were talking about this since the beginning of this, how we were going to do something like this. So I think it's coming up to be better, in my opinion. And again, we want to hear from you guys.
Right.
Splitting up this. We don't mind repeating it a little bit, especially when now we get to talk to you guys. What's up, everybody out there?
DJ Crown J, Sports Highlights, Colton Plays, Jared Jablonski.
What's up, guys?
Every single one of you guys, thanks for joining us here.
Hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new. We already got a couple subscribers on the last news one, just 15 minutes ago, whatever. So thank you all for the new subscribers. It's a family here, Cowboys, but NFL. And we went through all the news over there for the Cowboys for today. We're going to review everything again and go through everything. We're going to let some more people get in here. But we want to make sure when we go through these things, we want to hear what you guys have to say and your ideas too. So we'll try to catch up on everybody's comments. We're going to do this in about half an hour or so, 45 minutes at most. But there's a lot of things to talk about after yesterday's huge 28-17 win that brings us to 5-3, second by ourselves in the division. And I guess we're tied with Washington still. Washington's 4-4. I'm sorry, I think so. We're a game in front of them. We're 2.5 back on the Eagles still.
Let's do one day at a time. But guys, great job here. And then DJ Crown J, where's the jersey? Don't get me started, guys. Quick side note, if you are thinking about ordering something from the NFL Pro Shop, think again and plan accordingly, because I ordered a jersey along with several new shirts. I got the shirts in 2 days, 3 days, and it's been over a week. Still waiting for the jersey. All of a sudden today it says it's not being delivered until Wednesday or Thursday. Guys, as soon as it gets here, I'm going to be the first one wearing it on the stream.
DJ
but thank you for remembering. And then Sports Highlights, I'm glad that you're motivated to stay up with us. Again, we're motivated to stay up with you.
I mean, it is late for us as well, guys. It's like 10:30 on the East Coast here in Central Florida area. And again, we understand, we have other streams going on like Mark Holmes or Law Nation, so we want to try to give them their little space too. We can go on any time. It really fits our schedule. So now when the kids are in bed and food's eaten and everything's put away,
it works a little bit easier.
It's easier for us to kind of, and also it's good to get all the information. Late things come out sometimes into the stream at 10, 11, sometimes at night. So we stay up and give it to you guys no matter what time.
Diane, I'm glad that you're enjoying our new format, guys. I'm really glad that you guys seem to be enjoying this. Again, it seems to be a lot easier for us as well. So let's go ahead and jump into some of your questions. So Chase says, I had a phone call during your stream. What do you think about Jeff Heath? Is he a keeper? Simmons family, what's up? Rack City, Cowboys abroad. All you guys think.
Chase, real quick about Jeff Heath. I mean, for this season, he's going to be a keeper for this year. Not because of anything he's done. He had a good interception. It's kind of like T. Will. He had a good game. A great game, as best of his career, but doesn't put away all the other, inconsistencies that they both have. But T. Will is much better in comparison to Jeff Heath. Heath is, just a temporary safety, guys. The Cowboys staff wants him to be full-time, strong, free safety, whatever. It's not going to happen. I believe that he's going to. Just after this year, I think Xavier Woods is going to start to take over that spot. We'll see what Chido Awuzie has. Maybe he might be able to play some safety as well. And we'll see. Maybe both those guys will be back there. Maybe Byron Jones gets moved to the corner. Who knows, guys? I mean, Byron Jones played well at corner.
Yeah, he seems to be playing better at corner than he did at safety so far.
Well, again, and he does both well. That's the thing. But also he made some mistakes when it came to penalties yesterday. Stupid mistakes that cost us those 7 points right before the half. It was a scary time. If you take those 7 points away from the half, and then when they kicked off in the third quarter and drove on us, that touchdown by Kelsey and their silly, potato sack run, whatever that was, celebration. If you take those 2 touchdowns away, guys, that's it. That's when they scored in a span of 5 minutes, 2 touchdowns in the whole game. And then the other field goal in the beginning of the game. So 17 points from one of the highest scoring offenses in the league. Much props to the defense, to the defensive line, to the linebackers especially as well. To the whole defense, guys. Great job. Special teams, offense, a complete game. I would say one of our best games, is not the best game of the season we played as a complete team, even though I still didn't like the fact that we still try to pass the ball too much. Playing around, we got Zeke back there. We can run and bash that ball in, and should have put 30 runs on Zeke. We could have won that game by another 10 points. So, I don't know.
Yeah, guys, and just a quick update. It looks like the Lions are up 23 with about 10 minutes left.
Monday Night Football, guys. They're beating the Packers.
So, and Sports Highlights. We play your Falcons next, then stay tuned for this week because we're going to be breaking it all down for you.
I can't wait.
It's 5 o'clock on Mars. So Cowboys Abroad wants to know, can we do the live stream every day at the same time so I can plan to catch it instead of hoping I catch it? That's definitely something we can try to consider on certain days, but there are certain days where obviously life kind of gets in the way, and we do have to do it a little earlier.
That's a good idea, though. I mean, you know, what's a good time? I mean, we'll discuss it, and we'll come up with something. Probably like I'm looking about 9 o'clock East Coast time as a set time to start these things. That's my goal. I don't want to go later than that.
Every day is pretty much.
The thing is that like you did say, there's life things. So sometimes like on Mondays and Tuesdays it might be a 9 o'clock, but on Wednesdays and Thursdays it might be a 8 o'clock stream. Yeah. So guys, just you kind of I'm doing my best. We're doing our best to try to plan things out.
But if certain times work better for you guys, definitely let us know. So hopefully, if you can't catch one of our streams, you can definitely catch one of our other streams.
Watch the replay as well, and again, especially for the news ones. But again, both those are going to try to be. When we do the news, we're going to do the live stream shortly afterwards. So you know whether it's 20 minutes, 30 minutes after. But it's 20 or 30 minutes later after the news stream, the wrap up. You know, we're going to be running pretty simultaneously. So you're looking at probably between 8 and 9 o'clock every East Coast time that we'll probably be trying to do these streams starting at 8, 8:30 or 9, something in there. Just for now, that looks like our time frame, guys. Tonight was a late night. Again, live thing. Yes, so if things change, we'll try to post it somewhere, maybe on Twitter. I don't know, but we'll try to keep. Maybe that's another idea we'll be throwing around and improving on as this stream and this channel keeps growing, guys. So thank you for your input. That's a good comment there.
All right, guys. So and then Cowboys Abroad, Zero God Loading. Thanks for joining us. You had some delicious popcorn watching the Cowboys show. So did we.
Yeah, we did.
Had popcorn towards the end of the second quarter.
Chase Benavidez. What do you want to say? That's a great. You know, I know you're saying there is some happiness about Heath making an interception, but that's a lot of guys can do that. You know, Byron Jones, one of the worst hands guys on our defense, and yet he had a pick last week, took it back to the house. So again, Jeff Heath made a big interception against somebody who doesn't throw him very often, but he made a good cut, a good break to the ball, and much props to Heath for that, and props to his kicking skills. Aside from that and some special teams play, he really hasn't done much more in that this season, guys, and he's not going to do much more in that for the future. So
Jeff Heath had his plays of the year with our backup situation,
and he might have a couple other nice plays the rest of the season. But is that enough to keep him? Is that enough to someone to put your invest in?
I don't think so. But I will say that the Cowboys obviously do seem to think so. Heath has managed to stick around much longer than either one of us ever expected, and for whatever reason, I don't think the Cowboys will get rid of him at any point anytime soon. Yeah. So here, I want to catch up. Let me see. So
let's get some comments.
He says, I want to go through some info. For interception of the year, as well as replacing Dan Bailey for a game. So like I said, we just give major props for those two things, but those two things don't outweigh years and other things that he
and the future that's very limited. The ceiling is very low for him. So on to somebody other than Jeff Heath, Zeke and his situation, guys. We discussed that in the news stream. I just want to discuss that real quick, and then you guys can comment on it.
Jared, we're gonna go ahead and hop back to your question because you make a very good point. So which is? He wants to know: are the Cowboys going to sign someone now that Brian Price?
All right. So tell you what, we'll wait with Heath. We'll wait with Zeke. We'll talk about the injuries first off, guys. Dez, good to go. Doesn't seem like he's going to have a problem. He will be, not 100% because you have two injured ankles and an injured knee. So that's bad news. But the good news, he looks good to play. Same thing with T. Will. His ankle's sore, but he looks good to play. And then we're looking at someone like Awuzie, who has been injured for the last 3.5, 4 weeks or whatever. And he's looking like he's supposed to probably play. So the only one that's iffy right now that can play, aside from Brian Price, we know he's out.
Yeah, it's Tyron Smith.
Tyron Smith, he's number 77, the blind side for Dak. He has an injured groin and an MRI. They said he's very iffy for this weekend's game. So that for us, as we said in the previous news stream, it doesn't look good. When the Cowboys say that, and he already misses Wednesday, he's gonna be limited Thursday at best. If he misses Thursday, he's not going to play, guys. He's not going to play against the Falcons. So we have to have Chaz Green move into that spot.
Yeah, and personally speaking, guys, let's try to keep a little bit of perspective here. Would you rather have Tyron Smith, rest if he is questionable, if there is, kind of an iffiness there? Would you rather have him rest now during this Falcons game, or would you rather kind of rush him back and possibly we risk him getting more injured during this Falcons game, and then next week when I think we need him the most, guys, when I think we need Tyron Smith the most against these Eagles, I don't know.
The thing is here's the way I see it when it comes to Tyron Smith is that we knew this was going to probably be an issue this year, and we had Chaz Green playing that left guard, and it just was been shaky with the injury, trying to stay in the game. It just was too much of an issue, and he's been basically demoted to a swing backup tackle. Now, basically he was Tyron Smith's back injury insurance policy. well, we need to cash in on that, but it's not because of his back, it's because of his groin, and they're not going to risk him. Again, if they can get out there and he can play and it's no real severity of re-damaging himself, then I think he'll be out there playing. But the way it sounded like today after the MRI and everything, even though everything's came back okay, it still sounds like he's not going to. So I would be surprised if he plays, but just right as of early week prediction, probably won't play. But Awuzie, Des Bryant, T. Will, all these guys look like to play. Now Brian Price, number 92, our nose tackle, who's brought in from
IR.
Yeah, he was brought in from the Green Bay Packers. He's just a big body in the middle to really clog up the running game mainly, and he's part of the Marinelli rotation on the front line. We don't have Cedric Thornton. Stephen Pye retired. That's 2 of our defensive tackles gone. So we don't have any depth. Our only guy left, other than David Irving and Malik Collins, is Richard Ashe. He's just fresh off the practice squad from a couple weeks ago, number 76. And his thing is that he's actually defensive end. And people are talking about taking up Lewis Neal.
He doesn't really play defensive tackle.
Well, he did play it well. I will say that. But he's not a pure defensive tackle. So depth wise, after Malik Collins and David Irving, we have no real true defensive nose tackle or a one technique guy. Or that was what Brian Price's main thing was on first downs, to be the one technique if we had like a 3-4. It means over the center. Kind of playing like a nose guard, nose tackle position. We don't really have that except for David Irving, but he's not. But Marinelli likes to rotate Irving around and rotate the defense, so that's where you're going to see issues, guys. And
Mr. Wright, you did call it. Taco did get his sack during Week 9, and I said he would get at least 1 sack this year. But I also said, I don't remember who it was that predicted this along with me, but I said Alex Smith was going to have his first interception during this game. And it happened,
Cowboys.
guys. So whoever it was that you guys, I know one of you guys said it for sure. You were on team interception there. There are you doubters. But I will say, never in a million years did I think it would be Jeff Heath getting that.
Yeah,
so,
that was a big surprise there, guys.
Yeah, and Dallas Cowboy fan 1980. That's right. The Cowboys do need to hold on to this mental, physical game. We're very lucky that the majority of the injuries we've had have been relatively minor.
Mr. Wright, yes, dilly, pit of misery, dilly.
So, and Virgil Johnson says, what do you think about 2 male judges and 1 female judge?
Is that what it is?
I mean, again, I didn't know there was a female judge, but if there is,
we know that the female. I think I don't know which one was the female judge, but I don't know which one it was. But 2 of them were nominated, were elected. Of these judges, in the Zeke case, were elected by Republican presidents. Not that means anything. I'm just saying, and this is facts. And then one of the 3 were nominated by Obama. So you have more liberal thinking one, and you have one that's maybe a little, or I say liberal thinking. It depends, because maybe they would be more against Zeke in this situation. In that liberal kind of mindset. But then you also have the conservative ones that maybe think that they side more with the NFL more often. So. Hopefully they're just judicial about it, and just fair by the book, by the Constitution, and hopefully they rule in Zeke's favor.
Yeah, guys, honestly, with as many ups and downs as this case have had, there's several NFL, or not NFL, but there's several, sports legal analysts, things like that are saying this case will literally go down in the books. It is historical. That and there's been, I think, 6 rulings on the Zeke case just in the last 2 months alone. So, very, very crazy. Yeah. Just all over the place, guys. Definitely
give some shout outs here. I see Sports Highlights back on. What's up? Colton Plays, Rack City. Lawrence Peaston, how you doing?
Us. So Chase says, is it safe to say we have a 3-headed monster? Sean Lee, Irving, and the Tank.
Actually, we were talking about
Randy Gregory, stop smoking.
We were going to talk about this. Actually, that's a good point by what's his name? No, by Chase. But Rack City too. But
Stronger King, thanks for joining us.
Yes, what's up, crew? What's up, fam? Yeah. But no, Chase, about 3-headed monster on defense. I think it's a 3-headed monster, but different guys. Sean Lee, David Irving, it's a triangle. Sean Lee, David Irving, and Anthony Hitchens. Those are the 3 guys that really turned the tide. Ever since the bye week, guys, before the bye, we didn't have, actually against the Rams, and I guess, was it the Packers? No, against the Rams, we didn't have neither Anthony Hitchens or Sean Lee.
Yeah, no, it was the Rams.
Yeah, before that, the 3 games before that, we only had Sean Lee, not Anthony Hitchens. And then in the Packer game, we didn't have either. I'm sorry.
We had Hitchens.
I'm sorry, we had Hitchens back, right, but no Sean Lee.
We had Irving as well.
Right, but we got Irving back in the Packer game.
Yeah.
My point is, we didn't have all 3 together until after the bye week. And then the turnover started coming, guys. And that's because of David Irving's pressure on the inside. And again, he hadn't played the first 4 games. That's because of Hitchens and Lee playing together at linebacker, stopping the run, on the same page, running the team. And they need both those guys. And their guys.
David Irving with that albatross wingspan.
Exactly. He's like 8 feet when he has those arms in the air. But the thing is about the key with Lee and Hitchens, guys. I know people like Lee, and Lee looked fantastic. Lee was doing Sean Lee things yesterday.
But Sean Lee and Hitchens together are just phenomenal.
Yeah, and it's not just that, guys. Again, people don't realize how good Hitchens is, and it's not just his skill or his knowledge, but it's also the way he's the leader of the team with Sean Lee, helping Sean Lee manage things easier. By Anthony Hitchens out there, it makes Lee's job easier. It makes Lee's management of his team, of the defense, easier. So you have 2 leaders out there basically breaking it up in 2 spots. They both can run, the plays in and know where to put everybody. They both are very skilled. This is just something that's known about Hitchens. And I think he's very underrated. When you take Hitchens and Lee, that's already improved our running game, and our linebacking core is top notch when it comes to the starting 2 guys there. And when I talk about Wilson, which is all right for a run stop, but we're talking about Jalen Smith, who has a future ahead of him. We're talking about
hopefully a great future.
Yeah, it looks like it. But with those 2 guys, and then David Irving coming in, DeMarcus Lawrence has been great, and he missed his first game without a sack, which is this past one. It's okay, but David Irving got one. In 4 games, what did he have? I think it's 4 games or 3 games. He has 6 sacks. Or 4 games, he has 6 sacks. That's fantastic, guys. David Irving is also a disruptor. So when you have him disrupting the runs, and you have Hitchens and Lee attacking the run, when you have David Irving disrupting the pocket and the pass, and you have Hitchens and Lee calling plays, putting the rookies, the inexperienced players in position to make plays, that's when you have what you see out there against one of the highest scoring offenses and highest yardage offenses in the league, the Kansas City Chiefs. We shut them down, guys. And another reason for that was because we did get on top of them and stay on top of them. Now we'll say we gave up that lead at the half into the third quarter, but once we got back on top of them, guys, we ran the ball and we put the dagger in them by continuously running the ball.
And specifically about taking back the momentum, guys, if I recall correctly, it was a Kansas City penalty that led to the David Irving sack. That we got the ball back. Then we got the ball back. We scored. We took a whole long time. We took like 7 minutes off the clock to score. And then Kansas City gets the ball back. And if I'm not mistaken, this is when the big taco sack happened as well. So they ended up not getting any points.
I know Law Nation, he's put out the video, the short, condensed version. I haven't been able to move it over to Twitter yet, but I will be moving that over. So guys, make sure you join us on Twitter.
On Twitter, guys, Law Nation puts out a great,
what up, family?
Just a play-by-play grouping of the video, and you guys can really see every play
thank you, Cowboys Abroad. Anthony Hitchens is an underrated beast. Thank you to hear that there. Matt Ryan, the same type of quarterbacks, Alex Smith.
Thanks for joining us. And guys, let me catch up with some of your comments.
See, Dallas Cowboy fan 1980 says Matt Ryan is similar type of quarterback as Alex Smith. Good point. He is similar. Neither one of them is very mobile. Defensive line should have a field day, and I agree with him. I have to do more kind of research, I guess you can say, on the Falcons' offensive line. And as the week goes on, as we really start focusing more on it, we all know about Julio Jones. We know about Devontae Freeman and Tevin Coleman. Yeah. We know about all the Caleb Gabriel and Matt Ryan. We know the defense is pretty good as well. Number 44 is a rookie last year. They have a good team, but I want to do more. Obviously, they're Super Bowl.
We'll definitely be doing a more of a step-by-step breakdown.
And Saturday is the big breakdown where I really look into the linemen and see what we can really do with that.
One-on-one matchups or plays that the Cowboys
can't wait, guys. I can't wait.
Their weaknesses. Very excited. And then let me see.
What's up, 42?
Sports Highlights, thank you so much. He says he's a Falcons fan. He wishes us good luck. May the best team win.
For sure, guys. Again, that's what we're about.
I do think the Cowboys have a higher chance of winning this game, which is definitely not what I thought before. But that doesn't mean the Cowboys have this won, guys. We had this game won, and we almost gave it away.
And we had the Rams and Green Bay game won. We gave those away.
Let's go play by play.
I just want to say something, though. We did say about who would win or lose this week, and I know you picked the Chiefs at the end, but you picked the Cowboys, but you did say this would be the game that the Chiefs would beat the Cowboys over the Atlanta game.
Yeah, but like I said in my Friday stream where I ran out of my job into my car, Zeke changes things. So Zeke being in the game, I would give that definitely to the Cowboys.
I will say though, I think that even without Zeke, we still would have beat the Chiefs. I stand solid on that, and I'm not saying
again. Now we'll never know.
I know,
but
we'll soon might know.
I'm going to disagree with you just because Zeke was able to get us a lot of those critical short yard situations where we got those extra 3-4 yards squeaking by.
I think
that really does help with the passing.
And I do agree. Well. Maybe it would have been a 4-point game. But my thing is instead of 11 points. But I think that we would have won. And I think that it's about the offensive line. If you put a great offensive line for McFadden, a great offensive line it's going to happen eventually.
Did you run your Madden stream with Zeke in?
I did. You did. Yes.
So there you go, guys. We're gonna have to do a replay of that.
Hey, I think in that one, I think the score was 28-3 in that one. So.
Joe Martinez, thanks for joining us. Frank Gomez, Jason Pye, Malik King. So let me catch up with you guys here. Let me see. So it's a Zoom.
Please put us on. Yeah, guys, Sports Highlights. That'd be great to be on game day morning.
Touching on the Zeke thing, it's not assumed that he's guilty. Right now, where the big argument is just was his arbitration hearing fair or not.
What's the question on that one?
Let me see. Look for Heath to have a breakout game. I think he start coming into a starting out role.
I don't know.
Taco 42, I think you're being optimistic. I would love to see that happen, but I don't think so. Cowboys Abroad said he still doesn't like Taco's effort. He needs to work harder. He'd be taking plays off. Well, I don't know if effort's the problem here, because I will say I think effort. Taco
you were upset when he gave no effort that one play against the Rams. You ran out the room
that
upset.
Moment, that frustrated me. But any player could have done that. I would have been very frustrated. I will say, I think from the bye week, my feelings on Taco started to change a little bit. I do think we're starting to see a little bit more focus, a little bit more.
I agree. Definitely,
I think he's just getting it.
I agree that definitely it's not that he's.
It's not that he's not,
I will say this, he looks slow a little bit. I will admit, he looks slow out there, but he's, it's not lack of effort, except for that one game that he definitely looked like he gave up effort. But again, I think that it's going to be a process. I've been saying this the whole year. Since, you guys remember, at the beginning of the year, I said by week 8, with this kind of defense, and that's without Awuzie being there, I thought he would be there as well in the running in this. But now, without Awuzie, I say we're going to be coming together by week 8, week 9. Our defense is going to be hitting its stride. And what's happening, guys? I mean, it's only because it makes sense when this team avoiding injuries and setbacks. When we get all our guys back, all guys back from injuries, Hitchens and Lee, and guys back from suspension, which again was DeMontre Moore. He's not there anymore, but David Irving. And we get these guys back, and we got everybody healthy, working with each other. We got offensive line now working and gelling together week by week with Cooper in the starting lineup. Yes, we might have to put in Chaz Green in there. Well, we're going to work Chaz Green then. But my point is that
shout out, by the way, to Mike Nugent for holding it down while Dan Bailey has been hurt. I got to give him credit. Yeah,
he banged one off the goalpost though, I think.
Well, that's 2 in a row, but you know what? He made it in both times. So again. And then
good job, but no all hailing for him. No, he didn't earn that.
Now, Cowboys Abroad said, do the Cowboys have a top 10 defense? And then Joe Martinez, if we can win that Philly game, it's going to be like a division bowl game. Let me answer
one at a time here. Top 10 defense, Cowboys Abroad. Not yet.
Top 15?
Top 15 yet. So that's average. I think that we are an average defense.
I think we're better than average.
I do. But I can't even answer that question all the way. We have a top 10. I do think we have a top 10 defense when we're up by 10 or 12 or 14 points. Then we have a top 10 defense. Then we have a defense that can lock teams down. We have the ability to really it's not just other defense can be up on teams, but they still can't hold. They can't finish it off. This defense with the aggressiveness they have with
if we're up, we can finish it.
If we're up, we can finish it, and I think we can. And not only finish it, we can hold them off for some time if need be, which we've shown we've done in the past couple of weeks. Even the ones we've lost against Green Bay and the Rams, we've held them off. A high-scoring team like the Rams. They didn't really burst out until we gave them some easy points. Yeah. I mean, they scored 51 against the Giants, and we gave them 10 in the first half of the Rams game. So, again, guys, ever since Switzer with his fair catch and a long kickoff return on special teams in that Rams game, you can see that we've broken down, given these teams chances, and put our defense in our backs against the wall. We got to stop doing that, and we have. And look what's happened: 3 wins in a row, guys. Yes, these teams are not the 49ers weren't as great. The Redskins are their division rival, but people were singing there. But listen, the Redskins beat the Seahawks. They beat the Raiders. They crushed them. The Redskins are not a pushover team. They beat the Rams too, guys. The Redskins beat the Rams in LA. So and we pretty much handled the Redskins pretty easily. Yeah. I'm not saying that we're going to handle them again. They had a lot of injuries, but they had a lot of injuries this week against the Seattle Seahawks.
Jason,
and Seahawks lost to them in Seattle. So again, and then you talk about Kansas City, guys. I mean, every week we got a more difficult opponent. And every week we seem to be playing better and better.
So the fact that the Cowboys
now we got a really good opponent again.
We're going up.
And
I wonder, that Denver game was a bump in the road.
I'm wondering if this has to do with the Zeke thing. But even when he's gone, the Cowboys are ready. That's my point. I'm not really fearing him being gone. Look, I want him to be on the team as long as possible throughout the playoffs and the Super Bowl if we get to that point. But I do think that, if we end up putting him in a position where, if we have to miss him for 6 games, hopefully not playoffs, but if we could, and again, that's another big thing. Playoffs, we can miss him, but the NFL said they're definitely going to suspend him for the playoffs if it happens that way. Now, if he wins this appeal, he should be playing the rest of the, I don't want to say for sure, but he should be playing.
He should be. And Kevin Bilbo, thanks for joining us
the rest of the year. And that would help us really focus on locking down something big this year, guys. No matter what happens with Zeke, he's got to fight it to the end, and I got to give him all the abilities to do that, and I don't down him for that. So we're not worried about that. Whatever happens, happens. But whoever's running back for the Cowboys is running behind one of the best offensive lines in the league that's improving every week. It's gelling together better every week, and that's the key to our success on offense and on defense.
All right, guys. So from there, let me see. Yes.
Sorry, guys. I roll on sometimes.
Let me see. Taco Bell's nasty. Taco needs more bulk. So I think Taco's biggest problem isn't bulk, or I guess it would be bulk in the sense that he needs to work on staying on his feet. That's my biggest problem with him. But Jason Pi said, "You're lucky. My lady's a Steelers fan. Every time they play, I want to put her out." Again, my best friend is a Steelers fan, but much love there. But I mean, I don't
have any love for the Steelers.
Yeah, so I feel like we'd get into a fight if we liked opposing teams, guys. They're very passionate, but thankfully for me, I see the light.
And Sports Highlights makes a good point about the Falcons starting 3-0, and now 6 weeks later, it's like another debacle, like in the Super Bowl.
That's why we said, guys, take everything with a grain of salt. We're only halfway through the season, so a lot of these things can change. A lot of we're still. A lot of teams are only 1 or 2 games away from, leading their division as well. I mean, the Patriots are 6-2, 7-2. Did they have their bye yet? I don't know.
Yes, they just had their bye.
So, guys, my point is that a lot of teams are, hanging on at very similar records. I mean, after Kansas City or some of these other teams have their bye, we could be very realistically only 1 game behind the Eagles, depending on how things go and obviously how the rest of their season goes.
Now, the Eagles have been playing fantastic. So all Eagle fans, congratulations to your team. You're mid-season champions. But hold it all together. Mid-season. Long way to go. Exactly. Now it gets real, and then it gets realer when you get to the second season, guys, the next season, which is really the playoffs. That's really a whole new ball game. So if you see us in the playoffs, guys, that's the game I want the Cowboys to win more than any.
Yeah.
And Cowboys and Steelers. Cowboys and Philly in the playoffs and knocking them out.
Yeah, and like I said before, that's the one game I really want to see Zeke in. Now, Cowboys 42, you said Travis Kelce, paging Travis Kelce. You barely heard his name.
He had a touchdown.
There's a reason for but there's a big reason for that. The Cowboys
number 31
planned for him. Byron Jones was basically on him like white on rice the entire game. Sometimes they double covered him in certain situations. And they kept a good rotation as well of people on him. If it wasn't Jones, it was Scandrick. If it wasn't Scandrick, it was I think Woods every once in a while.
Even Anthony Brown made a tackle here and there. But yeah, Anthony Brown's still throwing a weak link in our defense.
I would say for Cowboys Abroad, you're the one that said if we're a top 10 defense, one of the biggest reasons I would say we're not is because of the hole that we have in our cornerback spot, mainly Anthony Brown, with some of our other guys still. I think Jordan Lewis getting experience, things like that.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Our weakest spot.
Oh yeah, for sure. But because we're young more than anything. Now I will say that Anthony Brown is also young, guys. He's not like a 10-year vet.
More year,
yes.
Guys.
Again, we can't afford that kind of breakdown. That's why he might be going down like a third or fourth cornerback. And maybe he needs some time to just be specialized. But as far as I'm concerned, I mean, Anthony Brown had a great season last year, but he needs, he's having a slump. And we got to see where it takes him. But we can't afford to have him blowing plays against the Redskins deep, blowing plays against the Chiefs deep, making stupid. You just can't afford that. Now, Anthony Brown, hopefully gets it together and gets to be out there and playing. If not, Awuzie is coming back this week, guys. So, look for him to start cracking into the lineup and getting some more plays. As long as he's got, a 4-week rest on his hamstring. Got to be okay now.
Hopefully he's ready to go. Now, Cowboys Abroad said, do you think Switzer gets benched again? That was big. Again, and then Cowboys Abroad also said, did T. Will show enough to get fans off of his back? Okay. Mr. Wright, I'm going to comment on your comment.
So Cowboys Abroad, the answer, I think, is for Switzer. It was not, I don't know if it's a benching as much as, I don't know if it was officially called a benching. It was just more a situational punt situation. So when it's midfield and you get to return it, Switzer will be out there. When it's on your own 20, you're going to see Beasley. Maybe it's just because he's a young guy doing crazy things and they don't want him to take chances out there. I agree with the coaching staff on that. So I don't think it was a benching, though. He got necessarily in trouble, but I haven't heard much about that.
I don't know. I think it's a combination of that, but I think that some of the other mistakes that he's made have definitely been on the Cowboys' mind.
I agree.
So when it comes to decisions,
these things all together, I've come to this conclusion. As far as T. Will doing enough to get the fans off his back, probably some fans, but again, I still need to see more consistency from him. Great, he had 9 catches, 140-something yards, and no touchdowns. But again, he usually gets 2 catches or 3 catches and 1 touchdown, and for like 30 yards. That's the T. Will I know. I hope he continues this way because he's been great to see. This is his best year I think he's ever had.
Yeah, he's turning into the Cole Beasley of 2016.
but he's turning into like I mean, I guess you'd say old school knowers, old school people know Alvin Harper. Remember, he was a second receiver. I don't see T. Will being that guy, but I see more like a Bryce Butler being that guy. But I do see like T. Will, he's such a good blocker as a receiver and helps Zeke down the field. It helps everybody down the field when it comes to the running after the catch, or running the ball. T. Will's always blocking, and again, he's making the easy catches and then getting up the field. So that's a new wrinkle in his game. If he could continue to improve on that, I think the fans will get off his back. My opinion, though, we need more of that from him before I get off his back. I need more consistency from him.
So, all right, guys, let me go ahead and keep catching up with
I love Lewis, Mr. Wright. I love Jordan Lewis. He's still improving, though. He's still a rookie. You know, he's going to have some good games, and he's going to have some not so good games.
Yeah,
this game was okay.
Thanks for joining us as well. And, guys, if you are just joining us here, make sure to hit like on the stream. It really does help out our channel. And subscribe if you haven't already, guys. We post daily content on the Dallas Cowboys. We stream our reaction to every single game.
Yes.
Every Cowboys game.
Yes.
So make sure to join us for that. So
hit up a couple of questions. I'm gonna give some
Cowboys 42 wants to know, do you think Noah Brown will be active? I think he could be active for this game, depending on some of the health situation with, you know, T. Will or Dez. I think if either one of those guys, as the week goes on, is at all questionable, definitely expect to see him active. So, and then let me see. Cowboys abroad, as far as I'm concerned, Brown should have been benched 3 games ago. But then again, who do we put in then, though? I mean, we can't really bench him. We don't have anybody for Anthony Brown. Cowboys abroad.
I mean, that's what I say. Uzier is the next in line, so he's going to be taking some snap. Benuikri. I mean, you can move Byron Jones in there. Sixers JT, we're coming for you guys. You guys have 2 weeks for us now. You guys are 8-1. I don't hear no excuses.
That's right.
So we're going to come for you guys and listen. We're going to take care of the Falcons and get a good heated game against them in their home new house there. And after that, it's all about Sunday Night Football, guys, and the Eagles. I cannot wait. I just want the Cowboys.
I feel like that's almost like our mini Super Bowl. I don't know who it was that
never
said
say that. Okay. I know, it's a bowl game. I know. I get it. No, I'm just saying, for the Eagles, this is their Super Bowl for the Eagles. For us, it's just another game. So.
Okay. Anyway, let's see. Yes, David Irving is a sack master. Beasley used to return punts, Frank. Surprisingly, he's not that good at it. So, yeah, what is the difference between Beasley? You know, I will say, Ryan Switzer doesn't seem to be too good at it, at least in the NFL.
Well, he really hasn't had a chance, Switzer. You know, just the way it is in the NFL, the punts are longer, farther back. You know, there's better coverage, there's better talent, so he's going to have less chances to really break one. On top of that, the punters know about him. You know, the special teams coaches know about him, so they're going to try to punt him to the corner, punt him, you know, punt the ball maybe towards out of bounds, punt where it's up in the air, a little higher up, so it gives the defense, the coverage team time to get underneath him, and he can't return it. And if he tries to do a silly return, he'll fumble. Yesterday, he took a chance yesterday as well, if I recall. In about the midfield, it was like 4 guys around him. He still returned it. After that,
he managed to hold on to the ball as well.
Yeah, but that's a risk. You can't risk that. So that's what scares me about Switzer. That's why Beasley is more reliable in that sense. I mean, Des Bryant.
The day that something happens and then Beasley, you know.
Again, we can't afford Beasley to get hurt. Okay, but Beasley is there for fair catching mainly, I think. When you see him inside the 20, that's when you see Beasley. When you see anywhere on the 40 or the 30, you're going to see Switzer out there returning the punt from that point of the field. So
yeah, so Sixers JT, thanks for joining us again. The Eagles game is probably the game that I'm most excited about. You know, I'm excited for every Cowboys game, but up until this game, you know, that's the game I'm the most excited about. Partially, yes, because of the record, but partially because most Eagle fans, most of the Eagle fans who join us here, you guys are great. Sixer JT, you're awesome. Hollyway, Eagle fan 767.
Green Gamer.
Yeah, so you guys are great, but you guys know, same as the Cowboys, same as the Eagles, there's some crazy fans out there that make you want to just.
Yes. Now, I'm going to say this here. Yeah, I mean, as far as Frank Gomez, T. Will reminds him of Alvin Harper. I think Bryce Butler is more like an Alvin Harper style. But I know you're saying he does kind of remind me somewhat of him too, but he doesn't have that distance really to go down the field like the way he stretches the field like Alvin Harper used to. I'm going to say here.
Yeah, and Weapon X88, as far as T. Will, as far as we know,
he's good to go.
Yeah, he's good to go. He should be good to go.
Look for on Wednesday's practices. I'm going to say this is my prediction. You're going to see Des Bryant. You're going to see T. Will on those injury reports. It probably either did not practice or limited. I think you're going to see it. You know, for someone like Des, might get a day off, extra day off.
Yeah.
Exactly, guys. But don't let that fear. You know, now Thursday they're both not practicing still. That I'd be fearful. But expect them to be limited up to Thursday and probably full practice on Friday.
Yeah, if they're still limited or not in full practice by Thursday or Friday, then that could be a concern.
But things will change at that point, and you'll hear different things from us as that comes up daily. So obviously we'll know more tomorrow and the next day and the next day. But as of right now, it looks like Des Bryant, T. Will both look good for the Falcons game. But again, guys, you know, they're going to start off slow in the week of practice. Now, the only one that's in danger of missing it is really Iwuzie even probably going to make it. Of course, Brian Price, he's gone for the year, guys. He dislocated his kneecap basically. and also pulled. I think he strained or pulled a ACL muscle, tendon. MCL. Yeah, or dislocated ACL, something like that, guys. It's just a crazy thing. He's out for the year. He's having surgery. It's guaranteed. So he's going to be off the roster. We have another open spot on our team. So, what are we going to do? I'm hearing the Cowboys are going to go outside of the team for nose tackle, for one technique, nose tackle / defensive tackle. We don't have any other pure ones like that on our team. And some people are saying, let's get Lewis Neal off the practice squad. Probably not, because he plays defensive end. He's even smaller than Richard Ash. He's a bigger guy, so they can move Richard Ash into that spot. That's why he's the only depth we have right now at that spot with Brian Price gone.
Yeah,
so
definitely concerning.
We're going to have to get somebody as in the rotation of Marinelli's defensive front line, especially those tackle positions. We run one tackle nose guard. You see David Irving playing there. When we run two, you see Malik Collins and Irving. But occasionally in the third quarter, we rotate people in and out with Marinelli. We need to get another defensive tackle, aside from Richard Ash, in there to spell these guys and give them some time. Collins has been dealing with a foot injury for the last 2 weeks. David Irving, he's good to go, but you never know. You just want to make sure everything is good. And then, Ash also fresh off the practice squad. That's it. So we got to find somebody else in that spot. Look for the Cowboys to be going outside of the team, meaning not the practice squad, and getting some kind of nose tackle, defensive tackle is going to be able to play the similar situation, similar role that Brian Price did. So don't expect like a big name guy. It's going to be a Brian Price name guy. So,
all right, guys. Now, I kind of want to finish up our stream by pointing out one thing that I was really happy to see. If you guys did join us for our live stream, and if you haven't already, make sure to go back.
Yesterday's, yes.
We had some big moments, lots of screaming, lots of craziness. Little G was with us as well, my son. So,
lots of fun.
What was I? Oh, that's right. Team balance. So one thing that I think the Cowboys have done most effectively, and again, I haven't seen every single other NFL game start to finish. So you guys, if you've seen some of these other games, let me know if you do think any other teams also do this. But I think we played so well cohesively as a team on every side of the ball. That goes for the offense, the defense, and the special teams, guys. Special teams, especially, without Dan Bailey, it has really stepped up and made some big plays and made some big stops. Just in this past game, the first one that comes to mind was that special teams. First, I think Chris Jones punted it. A great punt inside the 10. And then our Cowboys, the guy was going to run it back. We shoved him back to like the 1 or 2 yard line, guys. Again, a 98-yard attempt that they had to go. And I'm pretty sure they either ended up punting or they went for a field goal. But either way, I think they ended up punting. Yeah. And that's what I'm trying to say. It went from, them getting the ball maybe on the 25 or running it up for who knows how many yards to now you're punting.
So that's kind of your assessment. I'm gonna give you guys some of. First off, guys, we're gonna end the stream with basically the midseason MVP. I want to know what you guys think. Who you think it is? We have a couple ideas we already spoke about, but before I do that, I want to go through some of the stats, guys. Some major stats I think are interesting for the Cowboys. Listen up and tell me what you guys think about this.
And Sports Highlights, thanks for joining us. We'll catch you soon.
Yes, take care, man, for sure. We look forward to that stuff too. So multi touchdown reception games. So multi-receiving touchdowns. Bob Hayes has 15. Well, Des Bryant just tied him with 15, guys. That's awesome.
It's surprising, especially considering the fact that a lot of people have been complaining. Des himself seems to have had I want to get the ball. And, some other people have been saying, well, where's Dez? Where's this elite receiver we're supposed to have? Well,
he's doing something out there, guys. So he's, he might not seem like it, but he's doing it. And look, you know what?
Flashy.
You know what? It's better quiet, guys. That means less people mess with him. And the more quiet he is, the more dangerous he is. So that's good.
Don't mess with the
That's right. Now, guys, here's the thing. Through 8 games, the Cowboys have 27 sacks already. Through 8 games. In 2014, when the Cowboys were 12-4. You remember Romo and DeMarco Murray? When we were 12-4, right? We won the NFC East. We recorded 28 sacks for the whole season.
So, guys, we're only halfway through the season, and we're already at that number. I mean,
and our defense is getting better.
It's insane.
So, guys, we had 31 takeaways in 2014, that same year. We had 31 takeaways. So far, for this season, we're on pace for only 20. So you can see the difference. But again, I do think that our improvement every week, I think if they're going to see us improve, whether we get takeaways or not, obviously that's a big deal.
Yeah.
But the fact that we are sacking teams so much is almost as equivalent. But you're stopping drives. You're
forcing them back.
Right. You're getting good field position when the punts come. So again, these things all are involved in improving the team through either takeaways like we did in 2014 or sacks like we're doing this year, which is surprising.
So now, Cowboys Abroad said that his MVP, Dak Attack, killed them. Rack City said Dez needs to play. Teams double team him. That's how T-Will and others get open. Let me see. So Rack City says someone on the defense is winning MVP. And then
mid-season, guys. Mid-season.
Yeah. So let me see. So Sean Lee, linebacker, best in the game.
We're gonna talk about all these comments in a minute.
Yeah. So Mr. Wright, we'll give you our playoff team predictions so far. Again, our mid-season playoff predictions.
Yeah, we'll probably do that to the tomorrow's stream, probably. But listen, here we go. So listen, another thing, guys, the Sun situation. You guys remember that Sun, right? Bryce Butler,
and Dez
Bryant, both of them dropped passes when they had the sun in their eyes. It's an issue that the Cowboys, Stephen Jones, Jerry Jones were talking about on the radio today. They're trying to think about somehow fixing technology in some way where they can either shade it somehow or maybe drop some I don't know what they're going to do, because those panels open up and also ventilate the stadium. I've never been there, but that's what I've heard. So we have 2 more 3:30 Central Time home games, which are basically afternoon home game. Not the early games, but the late games in the afternoon. We have 2 more the entire year. Thanksgiving against the Chargers.
Just a few short weeks away.
And then Christmas Eve, guys. I think that's against the Seahawks, maybe? I think it's the Seahawks.
So either way, the sun is going to be going down in the middle of each of those
unless it's snowing or something like that, guys, in December.
Or cloudy.
Yeah, or very cloudy, I guess. Yeah, it's going to be sunny those 2 games. So those are the only 2 games we have left. And look for the Cowboys to do something about that in the future.
Cross your fingers and hope for rain, guys.
A couple of quick other stats, guys. I'm going to throw these out real quick to you. Most Cowboy games with 2 or more passing touchdowns and at least 1 rushing touchdown. Roger Staubach has 6 in his career. Don Meredith has 4 in his career. Dak Prescott has 5.
Lucky number 5.
Yeah, so guys, it's 5. He's going to break that record, obviously. Dak Prescott, 39 passing, 10 rushing touchdowns. He has 39 passing touchdowns, 10 rushing touchdowns. He's second to Cam Newton in history to post at least 35 touchdowns and 10 rushing touchdowns for the first 2 years of his career. So, guys, he's still got a long way to go. So, he's going to pass that.
Again, guys, we're still only halfway through the season, and the Cowboys are putting up stats like
Another thing you were talking about Dez earlier, fastest Dallas Cowboy to 500 receptions in his career. You had Michael Irvin in 108 games, and you have Jason Witten, 107 games.
Wow.
And you have Dez Bryant, 105 games. So Dez Bryant
major props to Dez Bryant.
Record,
you are, it might be quiet, it might not be ODB,
but he's doing his
job. But he's doing his job.
Yeah, exactly. So most rushing touchdowns in the NFL, guys, since 2016. Okay, you have Ezekiel Elliott with 22, number 1.
Gotta give it up.
And LeGarrette Blount has 20 for those fans out there. By the way, Dak has 10. just so you know, guys. So most rushing touchdowns since 2016.
Our RB2.
I do want to say something about kind of a cool little stat I found here about the first 23 games of the season of any running back in NFL history, guys. Walter Payton, first 23 games, he had 422 carries, 1,687 yards, an average of 3.9 yards per carry, and 19 touchdowns. Again, behind a subpar offensive line.
Yeah.
The great Emmitt Smith, 389 carries through his first 23 games, 1,638 yards, so that's 1 more yard than Peyton. He averaged 4.2 yards per carry, and he had 16 touchdowns, a couple touchdowns less than Walter, and a lot of carries less. But Barry Sanders, 415 carries in his first 23 games. You guys know the great Barry Sanders from the Detroit Lions. 2,025 yards for him, averaged 4.8 yards per carry, and 20 touchdowns. So he destroyed the other guys. But you know who beat him by a little bit? Ezekiel Elliott, guys.
He had 513 carries for 2,414 yards, averaging 4.7 yards a carry.
Big time, 22 touchdowns. Defeated, just passing Barry. So again, he does everything.
Again.
Zeke does everything when it comes to agility. He does what these 3 guys I just named here, Walter Payton, Emmitt Smith, and Barry Sanders. He does what all 3 of them do in one package. So, that's why I think he could be the greatest of all time.
Exactly. So again, if he stays healthy, he keeps playing the way he has been, and of course, number 1, if he's out on the field.
Okay, I'll show you. I love this stat. This is a great stat.
Yeah, make sure to check out our Twitter. We'll be posting some of this.
I posted that already, guys. So check that today. I posted it earlier today. So check that out. I'm there. It's really a cool stat. This is against the greatest running backs of our modern time. So I think that Zeke has the ability to get to that point for sure.
Yeah, Hollyway, thanks for joining us. And again, I agree, Dak is not the same type of quarterback as Brady, but Brady has a very unique quarterbacking style as well.
He's also different, exactly. You're right.
Just so, even comparing Dak to Carson Wentz is still, each quarterback has his own strengths and weaknesses.
I think you can compare someone like Carson Wentz to like Big Ben. Someone like that who's big. Again, maybe Big Ben gets out of that sometimes. How does he get out of those sacks? Wentz kind of does similar. Yeah, and he's a bigger guy. He's a bigger quarterback, stands in the pocket, more of a pocket passer, can be mobile when needed. It's tricky to on the run. When you have Dak, he's more like a Russell Wilson kind of guy, guys.
Or even now, I would compare him a little bit more to Cam Newton as well, since we're seeing.
But again, he's smaller, so I would say like Jameis Winston's more like Cam Newton, but you got Dak is more like Russell Wilson. Yeah. I'm just trying to get to the closest guy that's out there now, and I think that when you see those comparisons, I think you can see the differences, but also you can see the similarities and greatnesses between all these guys. I don't know if that's a real word, but
that quarterbacks, quarterbacks can be made or broken depending on the staff that surrounds them. Yeah. So last year Carson Wentz did not look anything like he did last year, and a lot of that had to do with the Eagles he was surrounded by. He has a lot better receivers, better offensive line, a better defense.
Now Ajayi scored a touchdown.
Ajayi there. So guys, all those things are going to elevate Carson Wentz the same way that the same way that Zeke elevates our whole team, including our defense. Yeah. They talked about it. They've said the kind of energy that he brings to the locker room and on the field. So, definitely don't discredit those types of things. But I do think Wentz is a great quarterback, and Dak is also a great quarterback. So
yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, I mean, I just want to say a couple things about our injured players, and that's Chido Awuzie. He's missed 5 out of the last 6 games, and I think the game he did play, he played for like 3 plays and he got hurt again. So he really hasn't played in 6 games, guys. And I'm looking forward to his return. I think he's going to be he's a bigger kind of cornerback. He could play safety. Sometimes they talked about him playing the dime linebacker. As a linebacker, as a kind of a Byron Jones kind of guy. He's going to help Byron Jones. He's kind of like I think he's very similar to him, except he's maybe even a little better than Byron Jones. So look for Awuzie to really make an impact. He's had 6 weeks to study film and really get hungry to get out there. So I'm looking forward to him out on the field. On the other side of things, the guy who probably won't make it this week is Tyron Smith. And I just want to say one thing here, guys, that even with the injury, they're going to see how he feels on Tuesday. He hasn't practiced on Wednesdays for over a month, so he's going to have a vet day Wednesday. So don't freak out. That's expected. He's not. Tyron Smith's not going to practice Wednesday. But if he can't play against the Falcons for whatever the reason, because of his back, his hip, or now because of his groin, if he can't play, guys, there's Jason Garrett and the Cowboys saying do not figure it to be a prolonged absence, meaning he will be back soon. So like I said, hopefully against the Eagles, like you said.
If he's not there against the Falcons, barring any kind of major setback, he's definitely going to be out there for that Eagle game.
Well, I want to say one last thing here about the stadium. As I said, guys, about the 2 games remaining with the late games, or 3:30 game Central Time, 4:30 for us here on the East Coast. Cowboys are 13-16 doing 3:30 games at the stadium. I wonder if that messes with them.
How much of that has to do.
But it's not just them; it has to be the other team too. The other team got to be also having trouble. I know Witten missed a pass a couple of years ago or last year. I don't know he missed a pass once in the sun, and that's in the Cowboys AT&T Stadium. Same thing. Now AT&T Stadium has a retractable roof. Okay, the Cowboys have played 71 games there in their whole entire, since that stadium's been built, maybe 10 years ago or so. Yeah, so they played 71 games there, and the roof has been open only 18 times. I don't know if that means anything.
But out of those 18 times, how many times did we win?
I don't know. It doesn't say here.
So we'll have to look up that.
They're saying Chido should be back soon at practice, meaning that, translating to like he should be back against the Falcons. And Tyron Smith, of course, guys, probably won't be playing, but let's cross our fingers and hope.
So maybe Mr. Rice said that Dak reminds him of Steve McNair. I think you would know more.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that. No, I can definitely see that Steve McNair, because Steve McNair wasn't really a big time runner, and I want to say that he wasn't like a Russell Wilson in running. Russell Wilson runs a lot more. Dak doesn't really use his legs only when he has to, and he uses them smart, intelligently. I think Steve McNair was similar in that way, mobile enough, but wasn't like the most mobile quarterback. People didn't think about McNair and say he's going to run, and people don't think about Dak as he's going to run. But as you heard, he's got 10 rushing touchdowns. He's a strong, big guy. I think that if McNair is playing in this day and age, maybe he would be similar to that. Yeah. But playing 10 years ago and before, for the last, say starting 20 years ago, it was still a pocket passing kind of thing until Vic came along and kind of expanded it outside of the pocket a little bit more for that style of quarterbacking. Yeah. But Dak is the perfect complement and mixture, I think, of Steve McNair, some qualities of like Big Ben style kind of things, and also Russell Wilson. So I think he's like a hybrid. But I love what Dak does. I love his intelligence. I love the way he reads defenses. I love the way he's a leader out there on a team. And even though, and again, let's finish this up with midseason MVP. I heard a lot of good names out there. Yep. Excuse me. I heard a lot of good names out there, and I think that there's 2 names that stick out to me. Look, I love Zeke. I love.
No one's denying his greatness, guys.
But I don't think he's the MVP. I think I would give it to the offensive line, but I can't, because number one, they didn't play great at the beginning of the year, and And, even though they're coming together now, it's still 5 guys. So I can't really pick one out of those. I'm not taking Zeke, not the tight end, none of the receivers. And then I start looking to the defense. Okay, the defense to me has really improved. I mean, I heard a lot of people on this stream and people all over the NFL, Cowboy fans or not, saying Cowboy defense sucks. I still think we're the same defense, guys. We're just gelling together better. And again, when the offense is up, the defense gets better. And that goes for every team, but our team is especially for that case because this team is built to run the ball, take up the time, and built to keep the defense off the field. So we have to kind of stay with the plan of this whole team is. So I think if we do that, our defense can be a top 10 defense. Until then, I think we're still average, meaning 15, 16, 17, unless we're up. And we're up by 10 points or something in the third quarter. Then you see us jump up to a top 10 type defense that can, make the three and outs and get some stops, cause some sacks.
But your MVP is
my MVP. I haven't announced it yet. I think that the defensive backfield can't call it yet because none of those guys showed out. I love Bailey as our special teams guy, but he's an injured too. So we're coming down to a couple guys, and I'm okay. So we have David Irving. Hasn't been there the whole year yet, so I can't give it midseason. DeMarcus Lawrence, definitely a name we got to keep on that list. Sean Lee, I like Sean Lee, but he hasn't been out there the whole game.
The whole time.
Yeah, the whole season, and same with Anthony Hitchens. So when you come down to it, on defense, I see DeMarcus Lawrence our MVP, but offense, without question, Dak Prescott, the leader. So when you put those two guys together, I mean, who is the one that's made the bigger impact and held this team together better? I guess you'd say the MVP, without question. It's got to be the quarterback, guys. Dak Prescott, in my opinion. But DeMarcus Lawrence, with his defensive presence out there and what he's done for us this whole year, up to this midseason, to the middle of the season, so consistently has helped our defense and our entire team become where we're going with this team. It means Zeke almost becomes a bonus when you have him back there. When you can run the ball with the other 3 guys behind that offensive line, and Dak manages the game and throws great passes and does great things out there and runs the ball, and he does all those things. And then that helps DeMarcus Lawrence and David Irving, Hitchens and Lee attack and put the game away for us. So it's a combination. So MVP goes to the whole team, everyone but Garrett. But I think that I really like DeMarcus Lawrence on defense and Dak on offense overall. Dak Prescott. How about you, baby?
Again, it comes down to only being able to pick one person. If I only had to pick one, I am going to give it to Dak. It kind of goes into, I don't remember who was in the chat that said what's the biggest threat on the Falcons, like who's the one player. I would say it's Matt Ryan. For the same reason that I would say Dak is the MVP, because when at the end of the day, the quarterback is the leader of the team. And this is not a put down to DeMarcus Lawrence at all, because what he has been able to do for our team goes beyond words. Okay.
Last year is the one thing we needed. We needed more than a defensive backfield, was a pass rush.
Exactly.
This year is the last thing we thought was that, and now we got it.
Exactly. So, but I have to give so much credit to Dak, because I think that he specifically has been able to hold together an offense that has played relatively sloppy. I would say, if you're looking big picture, somewhat sloppy from what we've seen. Started off, kind of slow, sputtering. But I think Dak himself has been a big playmaker. He's gotten a lot of critical first downs. He's made, some very great passes,
great calls, great plays, great runs,
great play calling by him as well in certain key moments. And again, the way that he's been able to improve himself just from the last year to this year.
Yeah. You got to remember, he is a quarterback who controls more of the game too. I mean, defensive end can help situations throughout the game, but the quarterback controls the game. So, that's why you got to give the edge to Dak on that. But again, what Lawrence has done for the defense and what the defense has done as a whole, David Irving, I think he'll be the defensive MVP by the end of the year. But I think that, you got to get, he missed 4 games, so he missed he only played a quarter of the season, and he's 4.5 sacks behind DeMarcus Lawrence. So
exactly. So
Irving is really the bigger playmaker in that group, I believe. And at the end of the year, I think he'll make the difference.
Question for you: do you think David Irving could pass DeMarcus Lawrence in sacks?
I think he can. I think it's going to be tight. I think it might end up about the same, but I think he's going to be 1 or 2 behind him, or maybe a half or 1 over him. Yeah. So but to the Eagle fans out there, Hollyway, what's up? John Jackson, how you doing? You guys are Eagle fans, and congratulations to your records, since we're now seeing some of them trickle in here. But I do want to say congrats, midseason champs. You guys got the trophy. Oh wait, they don't give trophies for that. So, but yes, much respect. And listen, Lane Johnson, he's Hollyway is saying that Lane Johnson was the one that came in for Peters for what's his name? Jason Peters.
On their offense.
They're Tyron Smith. So and he came in Lane Johnson, and he handled Von Miller Like, he made him look like a little boy. Something that L. Collins could not do. So, respect there. You guys got a bona fide guy
when you have guys like that stepping up and plays well at left tackle. Like that, you know, it's hopefully Chaz Green can do the same if we're missing Tyron.
You got to give it to the Eagles. They made the best moves in the offseason. They're translating now.
Yeah.
They made the best moves here right before the trade deadline with Ajayi, even though he won't last more than probably 2 or 3 years because of his knees, and there's no cartilage in between his kneecaps, and it's just an issue. That's why the Dolphins got rid of him. One of the reasons why they got rid of him.
Yeah. So for your sake, Eagles, I hope you guys can squeeze out as much.
But we hope you don't. But yes, but I mean, it's no matter what, 4th round pick for a couple of years of Jay Ajayi. That's a great deal for the Eagles. So made some great moves, and again, guys, it's like, you know, they are making a great pickup with this. This is a big pickup. Peter's gone for the year, and they put someone in there, Lane Johnson, who is a solid guy and knows. I think he's played with the Eagles before. He knows their system. And again, guys, I think that, you know, he really is a difference maker more than more people realize how important that is, because without that, Wentz wouldn't have the time he has to throw. The running backs without the time they have to run to the left side. And, you know, the Cowboys, well, I'm sure we're already game playing for you guys, and you guys are already game playing for us, you know, as far as the coaching staffs are concerned.
Yeah.
Cowboys are already looking at you guys. But, again, I think the Cowboys got to attack and switch things up, make it confusing for that Falcons too, but for the Eagles, the offensive line. We'll talk more about that next week, Eagle fans. Don't worry, we're waiting for you guys. We can't wait.
I think it's really funny you say that you think the Eagles throw too much, that's been proven not to be a winning formula, when I feel that way about the Cowboys, that the Cowboys throw too much, and that's
I don't think he's saying that they don't throw too much. I think
he's saying that that's the mistake the Eagles make, that they just throw way too much. So it's just kind of funny to see we've made, because I feel like we definitely make that mistake.
I think if we didn't throw so much yesterday, I think there was some plays that we threw on first down.
You see, maybe that's the problem. Not so much that we throw too much, but that we throw the time. Yeah, when we throw. A lot of those first downs.
Again, but it's not just that, though, because, again, people say about first downs, that's important. It is. The running plays on first down. We didn't do it. We still ran most of the time on first down. But, again, the problem is that we run on first down, and then we throw on second and throw on third. I think that if we ran on second a little more often is my only problem. Run all the time on first down, most of the time on first down.
Instead of putting ourselves in a 3rd and 7th
I'm trying to say run like I don't know, run 80-90% on first down and run 75% on second down. You know, and on third down, you know, estimate the situation. You might be 1 yard away, maybe you run, maybe you pass, maybe you play action that pass around. And again, listen, I'm not a coach. I know that they use that play action, that run option play, and they throw it, dump it off to Witten or dump it off to Beasley or T. Will like they did yesterday. That play works. That play is hard to stop when you have a ground game that the defense is scared of. So if it's second down and 6 or 5, that play would get you a first down. So again, if it's something conservative, and for sure, I like it. But again, the Cowboys sometimes throw it in the middle of the field, try to get 20 yards on 2nd and 4 after Zeke just ran 6 yards. Why are you doing that? Stick with the game plan and run the clock.
Looking pretty cute to me, Garrett.
But, you got to run that clock. Oh, sorry.
All right, guys. Well, that pretty much wraps up all of our, discussions for tonight.
Guys, make sure you guys hit that like button, guys. Thank you for joining us. Just watching. You guys are contributing a whole bunch here. If you missed any of it, go back in the stream. We also have our wrap-up news, daily news on the Cowboys. We had that before this stream.
That's right. So if you want to get all the breaking news on the Dallas Cowboys, make sure to watch the stream.
Right. This is like an hour stream, guys. So it's not everybody wants to watch this, but the other ones are about 10 minutes. So we're going to try to do that every day. Let us know. Continue to let us know if you like it or not. We're going to probably do that for at least a week or two and see how that goes. We're still going to keep our Saturday Madden live streams and our game day live streams that's always on. And and other things. We're going to throw different things on throughout the week. But guys,
make sure to hit that notification bell as well. We'll be breaking any news.
Subscribe if you're new, guys. Hit the subscribe.
And of course, everything to do with the Ezekiel Elliott case. Of course, Shallow Hal, thanks for joining us. And guys, if you are just joining us here for the first time, thanks for joining us. If you're a long-time sub and follower,
much love. Thanks for being part of the fam.
Thank you guys for joining us here tonight. And never forget, guys.
Never forget. The most important thing. What is the most important thing? You guys know out there, right?
You guys should know.
Go Cowboys!
All right, guys.
Peace out,
have a nice night. We'll catch you tomorrow.
Good night. Much love. Go Cowboys.